I want to talk to us today about fear and faith. Fear and faith. Of course, we know what fear is. I'm sure that every one of us have had fear before, one way or the other. You escape from an accident, you escape from something, something happened. One way or the other, we have had fear. So we know what fear is. But we sometimes mistake fear and faith. And sometimes we believe that fear is faith. But fear is not faith. Fear sometimes will lead us to faith. But fear doesn't necessarily have to be faith. So we're going to talk today a little about fear and faith. Deuteronomy chapter 13. When fear comes, sometimes we sweat, we cry, we shake, we tremble. The fear of man, sometimes we do all this. But God said, if I be your God, where is my fear? If I be your master, if I be your God, where is my fear? 13 verse 3. Thou shalt not hearken unto the word of the prophet or the dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proven you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him, and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. Deuteronomy, Moses is saying that we should not hearken unto prophets or dreamer of dreams, but we must obey the voice of God. We must fear him because we have proven him. He was talking to Israel concerning what he had done for Israel, his people, sons and daughters, his nation, a chosen generation, a people that he has taken from the rest of the world to teach and to service and to give all his good things to them. So the story will go on that he have taught them all these things and went through Egypt and what he have done for them. And he said that you must obey his commandments and fear him. You see, sometimes you could obey a commandment because of fear, but you don't necessarily believe the commandment. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you could obey a commandment. You could do the commandment, but you don't necessarily believe that commandment. And I will show that later on. Because Israel fall into that category. And many church of God today are falling in that same predicament. So God is saying that you must fear him and believe and follow his commandments and cleave unto him. You know what it is to cleave unto something? Cleave onto something like you piece of scotch tape or something and you stick it onto something, it sticks together. It doesn't move. That is being cleaved to something. And if we cleave unto God like that, which means there will be no space between you and God.
Amen. Amen. True.
So if there is no space between you and God, there is no sidetrack or misleading in any way, form, or fashion that will cause us to be separated from God. One of the problems is that we don't really cleave unto God. Because if we cleave unto God, then we will have absolutely no space, no air breathing space, so Satan have no way. You see, there was a preacher who said, Satan cannot get you. He said, for Satan, because you are in the hands of God, and for Satan to get you, he got to pass through the blood.
Amen.
Because you have been washed through the blood, and you are in the hands of God. And if for the Satan to get you, he got to pass through the blood to get you in the hands of God.
Amen.
And he said, by the time Satan passed through the blood, he cannot tempt you no more. All he has to say, hello, brother. Do you understand that?
Amen. True.
If Satan passed through the blood, he is no longer an enemy because he has been washed. So by the time he reaches you, all he has to say, hello, brother. Hello, sister. Because he has become a brother.
Praise the Lord.
So he cannot get you. The only way that Satan gets you is because you step back and allow him the chance to talk to you.
Amen. True.
Because we are in the hands of God. And for him to get us in the hands of God, he got to pass through the blood. And when he passed through the blood, he is no longer the enemy. He has become a brother because he has been washed. So anytime that we have problem with Satan is because we have stepped out from where we were.
Amen.
Yes.
That is true.
We have stepped out. So the problem is not the enemy, as we always blame the enemy. The problem is us. The problem is us because we should be claimed to God and we are not living to God.
Amen.
Joshua 24. Joshua was one of the servants that I admire a lot. Reason I admire a lot because there are some people who are followers in the church and in many situations are followers and they never learn anything. You know there are people that follow for a long time and they never learn anything. Joshua was not that. Joshua was a follower, but he learned everything. He admired Moses, he looked up to Moses, and everything that Moses said or do, he followed it to the T. And when Moses gave him instruction and he said that I will have to stay in that mount, but you have to take the children of Israel to the promised land, Joshua took that charge and he took it seriously because he have learned of Moses from the instruction that God gave Moses. He learned from it and he never forget it. Now a good follower could be a good leader. If you're not a good follower, you cannot be a good leader. So because he was a good follower, he became a great leader. Because he take heed to everything that Moses uttered to him. Because he knew that Moses was getting it from God. So when children of Israel turned away and the children of Israel, the world kind of thing against Moses, he knew what to do. He knew what to do. That's why he became such a great leader. And God told Moses, gave Joshua the mantle. Joshua will take the people in there. Because God realized that Joshua was a good follower. Joshua chapter 24, verse 14. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away all the gods which our fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye shall serve, whether the gods of your fathers serve that were on the other side of the flood, or the God of the Amorites, in whose land we dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua is saying to Israel, you have to fear the Lord and to serve him. You have to be obedient unto the Lord and serve him. Do you think it is evil that we are saying that you should serve the Lord? That's what Joshua is saying. And if it seems evil, the reason why we turn away from the Lord is because we see it seems evil to serve the Lord. Like Israel said unto God, your ways are not just. And you're going to tell God that his ways are not just. And sometimes the way that we act today, sometimes we are actually telling God that your ways are not just. Anytime we turn away, anytime we do something wrong, we're telling God that his ways is not just. So I'm going to do it my way. If it seems evil to serve the Lord, choose ye this day to which one you shall serve. What is the God of the Amorites? The God that your father served on the other side of the flood? Or you're going to serve the true God? Thank you. But regardless of who you want to choose to serve, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Amen. Now Joshua, who was a follower and became a leader, knew exactly his position. When Moses came down from the mount and he saw them, for 40 days he stayed in the mount, and they already, by the time he came back, God had to tell Moses, go down quickly. These people have already corrupt themselves. These people already forgot that I just saved them from Egypt. Amen. And they have already corrupt themselves. Within 40 days. Go down quickly and see what's going on. Moses said, Lord, don't worry about it. I don't think so. Moses couldn't see what God could see. When Moses reached up there, God told Moses, they're going to destroy them. He said, Moses said, Lord, you cannot destroy them because the nation is going to say, you brought them out and you cannot handle them. Yeah? You brought them in the wilderness so that you could destroy them. But when Moses reached to the foot of the mount, he saw the people, how they corrupt themselves within a few days. He was furious. He forgot he was giving God advice. He forgot he was giving God advice. Now he couldn't handle it because it burned inside of him how these people corrupt themselves so quickly. So, sometimes this is the situation that we find ourselves sometimes. But Joshua said, as for me and my God and my house, we will serve the Lord. Like I said earlier on, the brother said, nobody will hear him. Joshua said to himself, nobody, Israel, all of Israel would go if you want to. But from here in my house, we will serve the Lord. Nothing will stop us.